Would say my day would be split into two different pieces: the internal workings of the hospital and the external system stuff that I was involved with, which all CEOs are. So, externally, that's liaising with some of your other hospital partners, your regional partners, working with the ministry, bureaucracy, politicians, both local and provincial, and working with external agencies that you really need to partner with in order to maintain the inner workings of your hospital. So, for example, if you don't have good relationships with your home care providers, with long-term care, etc., good luck trying to move patients out. And then you've got a real issue, a quality and safety issue within your hospital, as well as staffing issues and budget issues and everything else. The internal, usually what my day consisted of is, lots of meetings. um, I always tried to go on rounds at least a few times a week at a minimum. That was important to me because I wanted staff to know that they could speak directly to the CEO. We would have things like town halls, which, once COVID hit, actually became virtual. And then when we moved back to in person, we filmed every single one to keep them virtual, because we realized that so many people who work night shifts or something else would then have an opportunity to see it, and to be able to listen to the questions and answers. Um, Managing the budget is a very difficult thing in healthcare. The budgets are very constrained. Inflation, particularly post-pandemic and during the pandemic, ran rampant. So, and inflation not only in supplies but in labor, and really in labor because of the labor shortages, pretty dramatic labor shortages that are still really being experienced worldwide right now in health professionals, and meaning that then you get into paying a lot of overtime and everything else. And I think, populations, particularly in suburban areas, in outside of cities, are growing so rapidly and aging so rapidly. And so when you've got that double whammy of growing population by number and aging, you've got a big problem on your hands. And governments have just not invested, pre-invested, to allow us to seamlessly deal with that. So we're always in catch-up mode. And so that's kind of what we deal with on a regular basis. And of course, dealing in Ontario, the system is individual hospitals with individual boards that are not government appointed. And so it's a bit of a different milieu there to work. But certainly you have to make sure that you're accountable to the board. And that involves, having regular meetings, that kind of thing. So, I would say my regular day was a combination of trying to look proactively and strategically to see if we're meeting our goals, but also putting out a lot of fires. And those fires could be labor issues, it could be quality issues, it could be complaints, it could be the ministry all of a sudden saying, we want you to do this right away with no money. So those kinds of things, that was pretty much par for the course.